Hey. All right. Hello, everyone. Looks like we're on the air. Now, today's a one off. I usually don't do streams on days other than Thursdays for security, but I want to do a session on using Git and Revision Control today. Yes, hello, everyone. I'm Ming Chow. I'm teaching professor at Tufts. Um, My goal is to do this workshop in 30 minutes. I'll be surprised if it takes way longer than that. Um, but yes, here's the reason why I don't even care for viewers today. The reason why I'm doing this workshop is I used to require revision control and using Git in my classes years ago. Thing is, I don't even teach those classes anymore, namely web development. I taught web development for over 10 years. And what bothers me here, I haven't taught that course for so long, but it's really sad to see students, especially computer science students, they're going into developing developer jobs, dev jobs, software engineering positions, um, and they don't know how to use Git. More sad, I know that in senior surveys at Tufts at the end of the at the end of the year, number one complaint in terms of the skill that they wish they had is Git and revision control. It's like, what? I used to teach that stuff for years. So I'm going raw today. I did not do much in terms of preparation. I don't think I need to. I've done this so often, and you'll see why it's probably better for me to not do this training, this workshop with any presentation, because this is one of those such skills that you just have to know cold. And one of the things is one of the big points of today, and this is very important for anyone that's watching this, is your goal is not to master Git and revision control. That's no. Git is one of those things that is not just a skill, it's a habit. Most importantly, it's a habit. It's a good habit that you need to use all the time. So, first of all, let's talk about what revision control is. We've all done revision control in like some shape or form when it comes to writing documents. Especially if you use Microsoft Word for many years, like what will you do? Like you make so many changes to a Microsoft Word document. Sometimes you like to make copies of your Microsoft Word document on your hard drive just to make sure that you don't lose your previous work. We've all done that before. But it gets even more crazier that when you're working on a Microsoft Word document with a team of other people. And so everyone is making their own changes and everyone is making their own backup copies on their own computer, including backup copies of backup copies. And that was like old school revision control. And of course, that's also prone to many, many, many errors. Many errors. Like I even using the latest document. Um, Now a lot of people have migrated to use Google Docs, and for very good reason because you can use Google Docs to have things like track changes. Okay, but when you're working with software, um, you know, generally no matter if you're working by yourself or in a team, and usually teams are global, spread out, different time zone, many people. Like it could be two people, it could be 10, it could be hundreds of people. For example, open source projects. There is no way you can work on a software project these days without using revision control of some sort. To keep track of your changes, to go back to to previous versions. List goes on. There's no way. Like modern software development, you have to use revision control. Um, Full stop. Like full stop. You have to use revision control. Git is currently by far and away the most popular software to do revision control. Now, Git and GitHub are two different things. GitHub is a company, Git is the software. And originally, Git was developed by Linus Torvalds, who also wrote Linux, the Linux operating system, the father of the Linux operating system. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use Git. Like, I'm going to try to keep it as rudimentary, as simple as possible, so you can build good habits. I've been using Git for well over a decade, and so things like committing, writing messages, good messages, that just comes cold, and you need to do that. I mean, if you're going to be doing anything with software, whether you're in the AI, no AI, doesn't matter. Have to learn how to use, keep track of your changes, build good habits, use Git. This is right up there with the command line skills. As like I would say, this is like number two in terms of like the skills that you absolutely need to have before you even write software. Like get into the habit of using revision control. Now, just another friendly reminder. So back in the days when I taught web programming at Tufts, I would require, every student in the class, you use Git for everything. Submitting labs, submitting assignments. Uh, so at the end, you would build like a portfolio of work. And we use GitHub at that time. Um, we use Git, I still use GitHub a lot. Fun article. I like to tell everyone this article has stood the test of time. Oops. Did I make a copy of it? Copy. Come on, bro. There you go. Paste it in the link. There you go. Why revision control is required for COM20 was my web programming course. I taught it for 10 years, but I rage quit in 2019 because even up to this day, I feel that web development has become the Rube Goldberg machine. So really, why Git? The benefit of revision control takes snapshot of your progress over time. And small commits with clear progress markers give context to your work. Training the student to make, commit messages that are clear and frequent pays off in the future when other developers are able to chip in to help. There. So, in terms of tracking changes, collaboration, communication. That's the why for using revision control in Git. Git ties in very well with either GitLab or GitHub. There's many revision control software in the past, like I've used like CVS, not the pharmacy. There's also a Subversion, but those have all just gone by the wayside. Largely thanks to the network effects of GitHub and GitLab. I don't think there's anything else I want to pinpoint here. This article, just FYI, was written in 2017. So here we are, 8 years, soon to be a decade later, and it still has stood the test of time. Like if someone had to write this article, like no one, like I don't need to make any changes. Now, again, another friendly reminder is your goal is not to master Git. You can't. And there's this great quote from my friend Rob Graham back in 2016. I can't find the original, but I do have a picture of the original source. Rob Graham wrote, like, yes, everyone uses Git. Like, everyone uses Git these days. If you're in the professional world, if you're doing anything in terms of software, yes, it also includes industries such as cybersecurity. Everyone uses Git. No, it's not just you. Nobody has figured out how it works. So he's half joking about this. And of course, I'll paste this, make a copy of this picture. It's just a nice friendly reminder that, Git is a pain in the ass to use. You're not going to master it, but you have to get into the habit, build good habits of using it. And of course, Rob chimed in. This is 2017 as well. I mean, this is almost 10 years ago. Fool, nothing good can come out of this. And I said, perhaps I am a fool. Because for years, like when I taught web programming, like I remember like 25% of the questions, like in like the full duration of the course, I can't do a git push or pull from students. So of course this is what Rob said is GitHub, impossible to learn yet easy to use. That's what it is. That's the nature of the beast. Okay, so I guess now that I can just go right in to the demonstrations and let's use Git. And then I'll also show like how does it tie into GitHub? Okay, like how does it even tie into GitHub? I'm just gonna log out of here. I don't need this anymore. Log out. Okay. So I'm on Mac OS, and the first thing that you have to make sure that you have to do is no longer, you do have to install this. You have to install Git on your machine. So I use Homebrew for everything on the Mac. So just brew, install Git. Git 2.51 .0 is already installed. It's already up to date. Okay. So you can install Git, like this is probably the most effective way, the most efficient way to install Git on Mac OS. You know, even on Linux, I believe Linux you have to install it on your own. Let me go to one of my Linux servers that I have. To install Git on Linux is sudo apt install Git. Yeah, it's not built in. And there it is. Git is already the newest version. Yeah, for a lot of Linux systems, you still have to install Git on your own. I get out of here. Windows land. How is it? Git install on Windows. Here it is. Download the package. Download the package at git-scm.com. Okay. And that's how you download for Windows. Yes. So I'm going to clear the screen. Man, Git. Git is also known as the stupid content tracker. It's fast, it's scalable, and it's distributed. That's the key. Revision control system. Okay. So I am, for this duration of this training, this workshop, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to use the command line version of Git. I never, and I mean I never use graphical user interface versions of Git. I never use things like GitHub, desktop? It is? Like GitHub desktop. I never use this. I never use things like GitHub desktop or a interface, like a graphical interface for Git. And the reason is because number one, you lose control. You don't actually understand things how it works under the hood. Like I never use these things. Yeah, it quote unquote makes your life easier, but nah, maybe it provides features like it shows you a graph of all the previous changes, but always like the command line interface, you have a lot more control. If you have a lot more control, it's a lot faster. You can see everything all the basic stuff that you can do on the command line. All the basic stuff is like really fast to do anyway. So okay, how are we? What's the next thing we're gonna do? I think there's gonna be two tracks that we're going to do. We're gonna use Git on an existing project, and then we're going to use Git for a completely brand new project. Okay, so I think there's two tracks that we're going to take. So one track is going to be, all right, let's use Git to, work with an existing project, namely usually a project that's on GitHub or GitLab, and then we're going to create a brand new project using Git. So the first thing is, and this is always a fun project, like the first thing that we're going to do, like my desktop right now is empty. Desktop is empty, and this is a very famous game called 2048 that is hosted on GitHub. Okay, now here's what GitHub is really. Think of GitHub as like Dropbox or Box, okay, for storage, remote storage of projects using Git. Okay, so if you ever want to post source code, open source projects, you know, for years and for well over a decade, people use GitHub because the secret sauce really of GitHub is not only the infrastructure for storing files and content, but it's really the interface here. So that you can see, you can see there's a favorite icon, there's an HTML file, you can see all the JavaScript file. This really becomes a secret sauce. Is if you want to take a look at this application.js file, like here it is. This is JavaScript code. This really has been the secret sauce of Git and GitHub and GitLab for years. And of course, the rendering of the README file. README files are generally, de facto is in Markdown format. And so what GitHub and GitLab, what they do is, they will take the readme.md file and render it into a nice readable format like this, right directly on the browser screen. And this project is publicly available, okay? So we're going to use this project to start off with. And what we're going to do, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a download of this project onto our machine, into my machine. I'm on a Mac, again. So I'm going to make a copy of this URL. So well, how do you download in Git? Okay, so I have the URL here. So Gabriel Cerulli is the author of 2048, the game. So you can download this, but whoa, there's no download button here, of course, right. So how you would quote unquote download this source code onto your computer, the entire repository, is something called cloning. Okay? Cloning. Let's take a look. There it is, git clone. Clone a repository into a new directory. Okay? Also, this is a good chance the GitHub cheat sheet. I told you, I'm doing this raw. Here it is, the GitHub cheat sheet. The memories. I don't think this has changed that much. Here's the cheat sheet. Always cheat sheets are good. And yeah, well, I haven't seen this for so long. Yeah. Been a long time, the memories. I used to distribute this in nice paper, hard paper, like really nice paper form to students. Yeah. Here's the cheat sheet. And where is clone? What's a clone? Git RM. It's gotta be here somewhere. Am I blind? Oh, here it is, clone. Git clone, and then the follow you retrieve an entire repository repository from a host location by way of URL. Okay. So I'm gonna go to my desktop, git clone, There you go. What is git clone? Git clone, think of cloning as download. Retrieve an entire repository from my host location by way of a URL. There you go. And so you can see all the files here that I just cloned in the repository. Matches up everything that you see here. Index. Yeah, so I can just fire up, double click on the HTML file, and I can play 2048. Oh, shit, I haven't played this game for so long. So the idea is just to match up tiles. So I got a 32. The goal is to get a tile that is 2048. How to play, using number arrow keys to move the tiles. When two tiles with the same number touch, they merge into one. So, haven't played this game for so long. Yeah, this was the thing for years. Okay. So, I mean, this countless projects on GitHub, and GitLab as well too. That you can clone, you can contribute to. There's so many of these projects. Now, I'm going to go to use another project as well. And I am going to go and make, so I'm currently logged into GitHub right now, my upper right corner. And so I'm going to go to github.com/mchow01. And there should be, wait, there you go, repositories. There is a repository that's my personal website. My personal website is hosted actually on GitHub. GitHub has something called GitHub Pages. GitHub Pages, learn how to create a website directly from your repository. Yeah, and GitHub can host it as well too. Really, really cool. It is free. The only caveat is, in terms of web page that you can host on GitHub by way of GitHub Pages, it's only HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like no dynamic content like PHP, or you can't use GitHub Pages to host like a Python or Django app. But here's my my website here, mchow01.github.io. That's my personal website here. Now, in order to make changes, to what you call push changes to my personal website, you need to actually have permission. And so there is a special URL that you need. Now I'm going to have my desktop still. So I'm going to git clone. So the URL is not going to start with an HTTPS. It's going to start with git@github.com :mchow01 mchow01.github.io. This will work for me, but it won't work for you, because I'm the only one that has permission to actually make a clone of my website like this, and I can also make changes to it as well, which I'll show you next. So if you try to do this, I'm going to make a copy of this. So I'm going to make a copy of this entire URL, this entire command, that's git clone. So it's going to download all the files from my personal website. It takes a little bit because there's a lot of heavy PDF files. Okay, so cdmchow01.github.io. All the files that are here should reflect here. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to make a new tab on my command line. I'm just going to go SSH piano, the tough CS server. Now, if I try to do this exact command on another server that I have access to, and I try this, the authenticity cannot be established. Are you sure you want to? Yeah, sure. Watch what happens. Permission denied. Could not read from repository. Please make sure that you have correct access rights and the repository exists. Now, the issue is this. The error you can see is git@github.com, permission denied, public key, fatal, could not read from repository. So what does this mean? What this means is, well, this is where we can actually use our old friend Stack Overflow. You do a search for this, it said, now you have AI that says this error usually means that your SSH key is not set up correctly or recognized by GitHub. Ensure that your public SSH key is added to your GitHub account and that you are using the correct SSH URL format for your repository. And this has been a very popular question very popular question on GitHub, on Stack Overflow. You are accessing GitHub through SSH, first generate a key pair. For how to create like key pairs in GitHub, you could look it up. Here it is. Take a look at the document. You read it yourself. You have to learn how to look things up and do things on your own. GitHub has a document like this. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back. I don't need this anymore. I can quit out of here. So here I am on mchow01.github.io. Couple of commands are very, very important. GitHub, not GitHub, Git commands that you need to know. First one is git log. Here's all the list of changes that I made to my website, the author, the date of edit, what the edit was. So every single change is better known as a commit. Every commit has an identifier. And the identifier, if you're interested, is still a SHA-1 hash value. Okay, you can see every commit has a unique ID. This is the commit ID, identifier. Is this identifier important? Absolutely it is. It's a unique identifier that keeps track of that specific change at a specific time. And yes, you can use this identifier to go back to a change previously. So you can see I made many changes to my personal website for years. Git log. This is a log of all the changes. Of course, if you actually do a git log on a project that has many authors, many changes, you'll see everything. You'll see all the authors, who contributed what, who did what. And you notice that the commit messages are short, but they're also descriptive as well. And we'll talk about how you make good commit messages as well. Okay? So yeah, that was git log. Git log just shows you all the changes that were made to the entire repository, to the entire code base. So you work at a place like Meta and you work on a specific project, you're going to clone a repository for the entire, Facebook source code. You're going to see probably at this point, millions and millions of commits. Okay. So now I'm gonna make a change to my about.md. So if you go to my personal website right now, https mchow01.github.io, you go to the about page. That's my about page. Favorite video game. Okay. So I'm gonna make a change to the end of that. I'm going to make a new section called Favorite Boss Fight, Mantis Lords, in Hollow Knight. And that's it. Okay, so I made my change. So I made my change to my About page. Now this part you can completely ignore, because one of the things about GitHub pages is you can upload HTML. They use a tool called Jekyll, static site generator. So don't worry about this. I'm going to Jekyll build to rebuild my entire oh, hold on. With gem, okay, gem, install Jekyll web brick. You don't need to know this. There you go. Back up. There you go. Now I have rebuilt my entire personal website, but if I do Jekyll serve, it's going to run a test version of my website locally on my machine. And you can see in my About, Favorite Boss Fight, Mantis Lords, and Hollow Knight. But notice the URL is my machine, or you can do like localhost 4000 to make it even more clear. Go to About, Favorite Boss Fight. But if you go to the real website, and you go to About the active production, the change is not there. Change has not been uploaded yet. So what you do is you hit Control C. So the next thing is, if I do a git log right now, you can see my last change I made to my personal website was September 7th on Sunday last month. But what I want to do now is you want to type git status. Git status shows you on the master branch. Okay. What is a branch in Git? What is a Git branch? A Git branch is a workspace that allows you to make changes. Think of a Git branch as a workspace that allows you to make changes. By default, if you go to any project, let's give you the Metasploit project. It's a security tool. Metasploit framework. They use something called a master branch. By default, all projects, like when you create a project in Git, the default branch is called main now. Master got renamed to main a few years ago. So it's either a master or a main branch. Think of a master or main branch as like the production gold version. Okay? So here I am, the branch is up to date with Origin Master. Origin Master is, the remote repository on GitHub. Changes were not staged for commit. Use git add to update what will be committed, to restore. Okay, you can see, here's the real thing about git status, which is really helpful. It will show you which file got modified. In this case, I only modified one file, about.md. No changes were added to the commit. So now the next thing that we want to do is we want to add all the files that were changed to be ready to be committed. So in this case, I have one or two options. Usually I like to do a git space add space dot. That means, you know what? Recognize all the files that got modified in this folder or repository. Get me all the files that got modified or changed. Sometimes you may just want to choose, sometimes if you're working on a whole bunch of files and you also want to just write one file, you can do that. You can also do this. But if you're modifying like 3, 4, 5, or you added like a whole bunch of files and you just want every change that was in the current working directory, you just do git add dot. That's what I'm going to do here. That's what I like to do is git add dot is recognize all the files that got modified in this repository. Like, what are they? Okay. The next thing is, now we're gonna bless our change. We're gonna commit it. We're gonna commit it. Git commit minus M. And this is really the important part. When you're committing a project, when you're committing a change, you also need to write a very descriptive message on what the commit is, what change got made. Git commit minus M for message, and then a short message of what the change is. So I'm gonna get added favorite boss fight to my about page. That's a little long, yeah, that's usually the right length. The most popular for years, for most popular commit message is ASDF because people are lazy. And when I taught web programming, and if I ever see that, you basically got no credit. Like, that's not okay to have a git commit message as ASDF. Because if you're working with a lot of other people and they're seeing that message, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck got changed? Here you go. You can see I added my favorite boss fight to my about page. One file change, 3 insertions. Okay, so if you do a git add and a dot, it will only see what files got modified. It won't, dump all the files again. Like, it won't actually go through, I don't even know how many on this page, like 15, 16, 17 files. It's not going to actually go and just recalibrate all 17 files at all. It's only going to pick up the change, which also is important now. If I do a git log, now you can see my log has the change from September the 7th, remove the keybase file, but I can also see now there's also a new change, a new commit that says, my favorite boss fight of all time. Here it is, date, timestamp 205, yeah, a minute ago. Commit ID. Okay, that's nice, but let's go to the actual page. Do you avoid the git commit? What's AM? Yeah, I just use git commit minus M. That's what I always do, Kevin. So now you can see if I go to my actual site, it's like, oh, well, wait a minute, the boss fight thing is not here. Well, that's because I need to upload my change. I need to upload my changes back to GitHub. And then GitHub will take a few minutes or so to process the change. So if you go back to the cheat sheet, we've done clone, we've done commit. So commit your stage content as a new commit snapshot. We've done add a file as it looks like to your next commit. Yeah, so the last step that we need to do is, where's the push? Here it is, git push. Transmit local branch commits to the remote repository branch. So think of git push as uploading your changes. Okay, so because this is an existing repository, all I need to do is just git push in this case. Writing objects, yada yada yada. So actually, is it up yet? Nope, because you'll see why. So let me go to github.com, mshell01. Here it is. And now you can see 2 minutes ago, oh shit, I had 435 commits over for all these years on my personal website. On GitHub, now you can see I added my favorite boss fight to my about page. It's still processing. And so you can actually see the change now on, shit, there's some things, okay, 5 years ago, I haven't uploaded the ignore file, but if you go to my about.md, the source code, here it is. It's there. There, I just added this. And you can see like when these files got updated. My README was updated 10 years ago. Woo! 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 9 months ago. Yeah, my about got changed 3 minutes ago. Curious if it got changed yet? Yeah, there now. Took a minute or two. There it is. So now if anyone goes to mchow on my personal website, go to the about page. Go to about. You can see Mantis Lords. Stage all, commit all. I just keep it simple, just minus M. So this is like what it's like to work with an existing repository. So I'm gonna go and do, I got what, 20 minutes to an hour? We're doing 1 hour thing. Let's use Git for let's do a brand new project. Okay, let's do a brand new project now. So what we have done, we've done cloning a repository. We've done our add, commit, push. Really the most important ones are add, commit, and push. You do that all the time. Git log, git status, you also do every so often as well. So you've already learned like clone, add, push, clone, add, commit, push, status, log. Okay, so let's create a brand new project now. Let's create a brand new project from scratch. So what I am going to do for this project is I'm going to go to my desktop. Okay. And so what I am going to, well, what kind of project do I want to do? No, something that I know. How about this? Anyone ever use Unusual Whales? Blue Sky? Okay. I'm going to copy this URL. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a Python program using, we're going to use AI. We're going to use Claude Code for this. That's going to pull the last 15 messages on the Blue Sky profile Unusual Whales. So I'm going to actually go make the whales, I'm going to call this Unusual Whales. So I'm going to make a brand new folder called Unusual Whales. Okay, so there's nothing in here. There's nothing in this folder. Nothing here. So what we want to do next is, because this is a completely brand new project, we're not cloning, and we want to actually set this up as a Git repository, we do something called Git init. We do, inside of the Unusual Whales folder, we do Git init. Okay. So you do Git init and you're going to get, okay, using master as a name for the initial branch. This is the default branch name is subject to change. To configure the initial branch you use in all of your repository, which will suppress our call, git, yada, 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 yada. So names commonly chosen instead of master are main, trunk, development, okay? So if I take git branch, it's not going to do anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a brand new workspace or branch. The default workspace is going to, you need to have a default branch or a workspace. We're going to call this main, because that's like the standard right now. Git branch minus m main. So git branch, nothing is here yet. That's okay. Git branch is not going to show anything yet. So we have to add some files. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fire up Visual Studio Code. And we're going to use Claude Code. So I'm going to say write a Python program that retrieves the first 15 messages from the Unusual Whales Blue Sky account at Bing. Display all the messages in reverse chronological order in terminal. That's it. Now I'm going to save this file. I'm going to save this file as in the unusual whale folder. I'm going to call this called Claude.md. Okay. So I'm also here going to actually create a brand new file. Why not? I'm going to call this a readme.md. Okay. Actually, this is Markdown, so I just want to say I'm going to call this and I'm going to call this a readme.md in the unusual whale folder. Okay. Here it is. So now the folder got two files, Claude and Markdown. Claude.markdown, Claude.md, and readme.md. There's two files here. So more Claude.md, more readme.md. Okay, there you go. Is blue sky is one word? I don't even know. Oh, blue sky is, yeah, there's a lowercase s. All right. So now if I do a git status on this, you can see on the branch main, no commits yet, untracked changes, untracked files. Use git add to add the files and include what will be committed. You can see in the red, there's two files I just created, claw.md, readme.md. Okay, so if I do a git log, fatal. Your current branch main does not have any commits yet. Okay, that's nice. So what we're going to do is, if I do an ls minus l, a, you can see there is a hidden.git folder. The hidden.git folder is the one that contains all of the configuration for Git. So your folder becomes a repository as well. So this .git folder, hidden.git folder is critical. So if you do a more config, okay, this is all the details of your repository. One of the things I always like to do, like the first things I do for any Git project, is to have something called an ignore file. There are some files I never want to track. So the whole purpose of git ignore file tells Git which files and folders to ignore. Never, ever, 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 ever track. Okay? So, for example, I'll do that next. I'll do that next. But what we're gonna do now is git commit minus m first commit of markdown docs. Oh, see, you can't commit without doing an add first. So you do git add. So I have two files. So you can do git add claw.md space readme.md, or just do git add with a dot. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now I can go up and say git commit minus m, first commit of markdown docs. There we go. So if I do a git log now, you can see, first commit. There you go. First commit of markdown docs. So of course, the next thing is, can we do a git push? No. Problem is, we don't know where to push this damn thing to. What's the remote repository? So usually the idea is if you do git push, it sends us the work to GitHub. But this is a brand new project, completely a brand new project. You know what? Maybe we want to use GitHub to actually, maybe we want to have GitHub to actually keep track of all this work for storage. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, and I have this ready to go, is we're going to create a brand new repository called Unusual Whales. So under me is I'm going to say mchild01 Unusual Whales. Unusual Whales is available. Great repository names I showed out, yada yada yada. This is a Python. Okay, displays first 15 messages from Unusual Whales Blue Sky account. That's the description. Choose a field. We're going to make this a public project, not private. We don't want to add a README. We already did. Ooh, add a git ignore file. Nah, we don't want to do. We'll do one manually. Git ignore files are really, really nice and important because again, it says tell Git what file not to track. Add a license. Nah, we'll skip all this for now. So I'm going to create a repository. A brand new project that's anyone's publicly available to anyone, and you can see. All right, there's nothing here yet, but well, what we want to do is we already created a README file. We also created a Claude file. And so there's a quick setup here, you know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we already did the git init, we already did the add, we already did get the branch, we already did the commit. We already did all this. Well, with the exception of git remote add origin. This is actually going to tell, you know, what is the remote repository to point to? What is, or namely, what is the GitHub repository we're going to point to? So anytime we do a git push, it sends it to there. Okay, so what is git remote? Where's the cheat sheet? Here it is. Remote. Here it is. Git remote add alias URL, and the cheat sheet says add a git URL as an alias. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste it in. We're still in the Unusual Whales folder. Yeah, before we do that, we're still in /user/mchild/desktop Unusual Whales, git remote add origin. All right. So now, if I do a git push, now they do git push minus u origin main. You want to do git push minus u origin main. What is a minus u flag for? The git minus u flag for git, here it is. What is the u minus u flag? Well, we're wondering what the minus u flag means in this command. The minus u option does the following. For every branch that is up to date or successful push, add an upstream tracking reference. So after pushing your local branch with a minus u option, this local branch will be automatically linked with the remote branch, and so you can use git pull or git push without any argument. Okay, fine, cool. So if I git push minus u origin main. Cool. All right, all works. Git branch main set up to origin main. So now if I go to GitHub, remember this? And I do a refresh of the browser screen. Ta-da! 4 minutes ago, the README is rendered. There it is. We got our one commit. Cool. All right, we're still here. Git log. We got git log, git add, commit, and we got git push. Well, let's make another change. Let's actually have the code now. So I'm going to use Claude. Do you trust the file? Yeah, I want to proceed. I think I actually need to type init now. Sure. And it is analyzing your code base. Slow today. Yes. Do you need to subscribe to get that? Yes, you do. So, Kevin, the answer is yes. You do need to subscribe to use Claude Code. OAuth token has expired. What the fuck do you mean? Oh! I already have us an account, you Momo. Well, allow. Yeah, I'm going to allow. I can do this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to authorize. There you go. I'm logged in now. Jesus. Okay. So now I'm going to go. Now I do init. So yeah, you do. Here you go. I got nothing. I just have two README files, two Markdown files. Yep. Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right. That looks good. Main.py, requirements.txt. All right, that looks good to me. I would say proceed. Come on, come on, come on, celebrating, okay? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so far it's 1 hour. I think I had what, 1 hour and a half? There you go. Yep, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. absolutely. Go for it. 83 lines of Python code. No. Why don't I actually do the, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I have enough problem with Claude actually running stuff on my machine. So I'm going to go to my desktop, see the unusual whales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a Python 3 minus mvnv virtual environment. So a virtual environment is like a sandbox, like they can install like all the Python modules that you want without affecting the main system. Okay. I'm going to take a look at your requirements.txt. Okay, that looks fair. Good. Okay, got all the stuff installed. Oop, I want the full screen. Yeah, full screen isn't good for full terminal if you're doing like a Twitch stream. Come on, bro. There you go. That looks better. Okay, looks good. Fucking Mac OS now. This new update is like, no, I want a certain. Come on. Jesus. Alright, maybe that's better. Alright. So I'm going to do a more main.py. Okay. Look kind of reasonable. Actually. Yeah. Pretty cool. Alright. Take it for granted for now. So now I'm going to run the program. Python main.py. Aww. Check your internet connection. What? 4.1. Oh shit, I'm being rate limited. Probably, is it? Yeah, I'm getting rate limited. 4.1. Authentication required. Interesting. Check your internet verified upload. Yeah. AT Proto. Let me give this a try. I had it working before. Okay. So I'm going to actually received error. Cool. Thank you. Ah, okay. Which doesn't. Okay. Do this again. So, I don't think I need to do this again. Yeah, I already did. Alright. Python main.py. Bang. Bang. Alright, this looks reasonably good, reasonably good, reasonably good. Looks good to me. So now, as you can see on my unusual whales folder, on GitHub, I have claude.md, readme.md. And this is also a really good opportunity now. Okay, so I'm going to say, looks good. I do this all the time when I use Claude Code. Can you update claude.md and readme.md with what we just did? Kevin, you still there? I think you're the only guy in, the only person here, but it's okay. Yeah. Kevin is still here. Yeah, why not? Cool. All right. So now, before I push everything, I'm going to do a git log. Nah, no change. Okay. Git log. Okay, git status. Cool. Looks really good. We have modified claude.md, modified readme.md. We have 2 new files that were created by Claude Code, main.py and requirements.txt. One thing is that we also have a .env folder. I want to. This is where I'm going to do code.gitignore. I don't want to. I don't want anything in the env folder to be committed. Git ignore, here you go. I'm going to say env. I don't want the env folder to be tracked in anything else. This is where I'm also going to go cheat. Python git ignore file. It's a good one. All right, all these build, all this is good. I like this. All the env stuff. Secrets. There you go. C extensions, downloads. env in here? So much stuff. Oh, they already have env environments. I don't need this anymore. So I don't need that anymore. It's already covered in the bottom here. Yeah, all the environment stuff, that's already taken care of. Okay, that's good. Looks good to me. Claude.md. We'll still have this open. So I'll do an ls minus l, ls minus la now is, you see a .gitignore file that I just created, just moments ago. So now what I want to do is git add and then a dot. So this is going to recognize the files I got changed. Claude.md got updated, readme.md got updated. 3 brand new files, .gitignore. Gotta get status. Yeah, git status will actually show to get this a brand new gitignore file. Now I'm gonna do a git add dot git commit minus m. First iteration of working Python program. Thanks to Claude Code. Take a look at GitHub. The repository and the main branch for unusual whales. This project not available. It's only 19 minutes ago. Okay, we started at claude.md and readme.md 19 minutes ago. Commit minus m. First iteration of Python program thanks to Claude Code. Again, eyeballs. None of the recent work that Claude Code did is here. Yeah. Hit enter. 2 files that were updated. New gitignore, new main.py, new requirement.txt, git log. 2 changes. Now I'm just going to do a git push. Bing, bang. Changes should be sent to GitHub. anyone in the world, if you're watching the stream, you can be working on this project if you want. There you go. The README got updated. Quad.md got updated. Main.py. Okay. I think we did enough work for today. Alright, so we have 2 commits in this folder, in this repository. Main. But I want to do one more. I want to do one more thing. That's called branching. Okay. So right now, if I clear the screen, I type git branch. It's going to show you all the branches. Right now, there's only one branch, main. But let's say I want to add a new feature to this thing. Now, here's the thing. The main or the master branch should always be like production grade. This is what everyone uses by default. So you don't want to be messing with, you don't want to mess with, you know, it's like version, it's like, you know, you're trying to build a new feature. You don't want to mess up something that's already working and hundreds and thousands and millions of people are using that software. So the ideal thing to do is you want to create a brand new branch for development. So I'm going to create a brand new branch here. I'm going to build a new feature. Git branch. How do I create a brand new branch? I forget. Let's go to cheat sheet. Branch. Git branch. Okay, git branch. Just a branch name. Create a brand new branch at the current commit. Okay. Git branch. Hot feature. There you go. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to create a brand new hot feature for this thing. I'm going to use Claude Code. If I do git branch now, what do I do? Okay. Oh, very important. I have to switch over to the. I create a brand new branch called hot feature. And then I have to do a checkout. Yes. I have to do a checkout. Git checkout hot feature. Switch the branch to hot feature. So I'm going to do something dumb, like something real simple. So what happens if I do a git branch now? I don't think I need to, do I? Okay, I don't care about this. Okay, that's fine. Do an ls. Can I do an ls here? Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'm in a branch called hot feature. Okay, so now we're going to add a new change. We are going to add a new change, a new for each message. Can you precede it with flame emoji? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'm going to open up Visual Studio Code. Unusual whale, main.py. There you go. Nice. Nice. Point. Excellent. All right. So now, if we're on git branch again, we're on the hot feature. So I'm going to do a commit, and I'm going to call this added flame git add. You can't, just a friendly reminder, you have to add first, then commit. Git add. Now I go to git commit. But here's the tricky thing. The next thing is, here I want to create a brand new branch on this project. You can see there's only one branch right now, it's main. Git push minus, you can type origin, which is for the GitHub URL, but then you have to do, now if you do a git push, I think this should fail. I'm pretty damn sure this is gonna fail, right? Yep, it's gonna fail. The current branch, hot feature, has no upstream branch. So there's no upstream branch, meaning there's nothing on GitHub that has hot feature. So what you want to do is git push minus u origin and then hot feature. That will work. So now if on GitHub, hot feature we had push it 5 seconds ago. So there is a main branch and a hot feature branch. Now, so what's the difference? The difference is this. The difference is line number 63, no emoji, no flame emoji on the main branch. But if you go to the hot feature branch, in main.py, line 63, there is an emoji flame. Okay. So now, watch what happens. I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to do a git checkout master. Not master, main. Now, if I run the Python program again, you notice that the messages are not going to have an emoji, like a flame emoji next to it. If I do clear the screen, git checkout hot feature. Now if I do a Python main, fine. Now you can see the flame. Git checkout main. Clear the screen. Now if you want to, alright, so we create a hot feature, but we want to incorporate it into our main branch. It's like all the things that we just did. All the things that we just did. We want to merge, all the changes that we just did. We want to merge everything that we did in this hot new feature into the main branch. So what you do is git merge hot feature. So we take the new changes that we made in this feature, the emojis, just move it into our main branch. Boom. Now you type git branch again. We're in the main. Just to be safe, Python main.py. There you go. Git push, because we're in the main branch. It works. So all the changes that we made in the hot feature branch now just got merged. There it is. 3 minutes ago, I added flame emoji before each message. So we currently have 2 branches, but let's say we don't want to have this branch anymore. Git branch minus D hot feature. Deleted branch hot feature. You can do a git push now. Everything is up to date. Should delete it. Yeah. No. How the hell you delete the... Okay, hold on. Delete branch from remote git. Oh, git branch, git push minus D. Okay. So it's git push minus D origin hot feature. This should remove the hot feature branch here. So I'm going to do a refresh here. I got an unusual whale. Move it. There you go. And now if I go to GitHub, refresh. Boom. Done. Is it best practice to delete a branch once it's merged? Yeah. Yeah, so usually the answer is yes. That's a great question, Barry. So the answer is yes, so you don't want to get confused. Having too many branches get really damn confusing. Curious. Well, since you asked, Barry's. Only 250, almost there. How many branches are there for Metasploit? Holy shit. That's a lot. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have too many branches and it gets like too confusing. Like when you actually have incorporated, once you actually pushed it into your master or main branch, just delete it. It's part of the thing. Keep it clean. So yes, best good practice. Very, 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 very good practice. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. I think we've done everything. So what have we done? We've done clone. We've done cloning a repository, add, commit, push, log, status. Hell, we even did. Hell, we even done. Yeah, we done status, add. We didn't do. Oh shit. We didn't do reset. So let's say that you really fucked up and you don't want this anymore. Remember this? Get log. Let's say you actually want to go back to a previous thing. If you want to go back to a previous commit, let's say we don't want the flame emoji anymore. Take the commit ID of the last change that you want to go back to. Git reset minus hard. Git log. So you say you really messed up, or it's like no one likes the flame emoji. There you go. Git reset to go back to your last. Now you're gonna see messages without any of these things again. But I remember I didn't push here. I can do that if I want. I can do that. I'm not gonna do that. But yes, if you want to go back to a last good version or last previous commit, git reset. Git reset minus hard, and then the commit ID. That goes back to last good commit, or the last commit that you want to roll back to. I call it rollback. You're gonna get diff. Yeah, we did commit, we did branch, we did checkout, we did merge, we did log, we got log out, we got get log, clone, and knit. I didn't do config. That's just reading the instruction. Get remote add, we did. Get merge, get pull. I'm not gonna touch rebase. Go yourself. No. Oh, get RM is to remove a file. That almost goes outside. Get RM is to remove a file. Yeah, I think we're done. I don't want to do anything more. So I do git log. Git log is going to show you the first 2 commit, not the first 3. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit out of this damn thing. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to log out. Yeah, I'm going to sign out from all the accounts. But if I go to github.com and shell01, go to repository, if anyone want to work on this and play what we just did, take the URL, but you can't commit. You can't push anything to here. So I'm going to go to my desktop. I don't think there's anything that's important here. Minus I'll have to blow this whole folder away. I got nothing left. Git clone. CD unusual whales. Git log. Boom. Got all my stuff here. Yeah, I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm done for the day. Yeah. All right. Yes. I think 1:30. I said 1:30 to 3, so that was the thing. And yeah, 2:55. I think everyone can enjoy the day. It is nice outside. It is nice. Yeah, so I think we are good. I'm gonna make this publicly available. I'm gonna send this to a few friends. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today. Thanks all. I don't even know how many people showed up. What keyboard I use? It's snappy. Yeah, it's a mechanical keyboard. I use a mechanical keyboard. I use it's an old code keyboard. I don't have a keycon. I have one of these. This is from like 2013. Yeah, it's basically, yeah, this is very similar to one I have. Yeah, had this, yeah, code keyboard. They didn't get bought out, did they? They just have their own website. Again, here it is. Weird. That's what I have. Yep, since 2015, 10 years old. I know. Take care.